You'll have to forgive me if I haven't been very talkative lately on social media, as my mother has type 2 diabetes along with high blood pressure and along with a stroke. So my priorities right now are more focused on making sure my mother doesn't end up in a coma. That being said, I do wish to be able to make videos that comments on drama, but I feel like I need to go back to my roots in order to do so. And I'm glad that I have not one but 6 videos for me to respond to. Christina Wong has given me the tools needed to once again rise back on my feet. Now, many of you don't know who she is, since most of my audience is more or less focused on the drama with perfection. However, understand that I have my own political stances that a lot of people may disagree with, and Christina is no stranger to political stances. To recap, Christina has made a show that's targeted towards children called Radical Cram School. It says it right there on the title, Radical. And when it comes to politics, the word radical is never good. She might as well be a communist. For a while, it's gotten some attention of many YouTubers, which include the likes of Alex Jones, How to Avion, Dr. Ren McCannon, even my old friend WarCorp666, who now goes by the name of Lord of Patriarchy. However, after the entire internet used her as a punching bag, she's been awfully quiet when it comes to YouTube. It's almost as if the world has forgotten that she existed. She is bland and forgettable after all, but a ray of sunshine has dawned upon me, with 6 videos where I can react, debunk, and expose Christina for who she really is. A scumbag. The first video we're going to respond to is a video that talks about gun violence. It should be noted that she's one of those feminist comedians out there, and when you call yourself a feminist comedian, that alone is an oxymoron. The word moron is the key word.
Welcome to Radical Cram School. We're going to learn about social justice.
Shirley, what the fuck?
3 seconds in and already we have a bad example. It's almost as she's taking lessons from Fuck and be like, yeah, this is a great way to be a good role model for children. Show a painting of someone flipping the bird. As much as I hate to admit, but even queer kid stuff, while a disgusting YouTube channel, at least doesn't go as far as to be this edgy channel that flips the bird. Only the most radical of feminists would be okay with this. This intro reminds me of elevator music, and not the good kind of music either.
Welcome back. Our next guest is no stranger to controversy.
I know this isn't debunking anything, but why does she look like the man in the yellow hat has been deformed and been taking hormones up the ass? She looks more yellow than a homeless man's teeth.
You may know his work from Fortnite, almost every action movie ever made, and the news. Just last year, he was responsible for 114 deaths and
114 deaths in the span of a year? That's nothing compared to the entire population of, say, New York.
Injuries in school shootings. Please welcome our next guest, Gun.
Yeah, come at me, dorks.
Now.
That kid right there is my entire expression with this video. He's like, what is this bullshit? A talking gun? That kid's seen some things. Some very dark things that one cannot be explained by words.
Well, our guest is here to try to clear his name.
In this bias as hell court, I think we can all come to the conclusion that there is no fair trial here.
So, Gun, you have ruined a lot of lives.
And also saved a bunch of lives by shooting bad guys. You're welcome.
And you've hurt a lot of innocent people.
And also hurt bad guys. You're fucking welcome.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Look, I'm a straight shooter, so let me give it to you straight. A lot of kids are terrified that I'm going to show up at their school. But guess what? I'm not the bad guy.
You see what I mean? You can't really clear your name if your audience is this stupid. Then again, I'm dealing with children who could barely count up to 100.
How are you not the bad guy, Gun?
Well, simple. I don't kill people. People kill people.
People kill people with guns. guns, like you.
And with knives, rocks, whips, and hell, even with their bare hands. But we don't demand a ban on knives, whips, or hell. Tell people that they should never turn their hands into a fist.
Yeah!
I'm gonna say, for a gun, you are very defensive.
Well, a gun can be used for self-defense. How else would you defend yourself from, say, a robber or someone who's planning to sexually assault you? Unless you know how to perform martial arts like Jackie Chan, you're not gonna survive. And from the looks of things, Christina has the same amount of strength of that as a frog. As you would expect from someone who dresses up like Onision in a freaking banana suit.
I'm a banana, I'm a banana, I'm a banana. Look at me, man!
Gun, how are you not the bad guy when a school shooter could never do the same kind of damage with their fists or knives and with...
The same way law enforcement uses guns to protect us. You're not gonna rob a bank that has like 3 armed men with AK-47s. You're probably gonna rob a bank that has maybe 1 security guard with a pea shooter.
You.
Well, okay. You've got a point.
Gun, no, you have a point, and you have to be careful where you aim it.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Is that gun by any chance owned by the Joker?
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
Let's see what our audience thinks.
I just want to say to Gun, you aren't cute, you aren't cool, and I want you to stay out of the hands of people who have a history of mental health issues and violence.
Oh yeah, it's not like we're trying to pass up laws to prevent people like getting guns. No, it just happened that we hand out guns to your local 99-cent store. Fucking dumbass.
Settle down.
I've got a message for you, Gun. You may think you're tough because you have the NRA gun lobbies behind you, but you know what power I have? The power to organize with all these people against you. And when I turn 18, I will have the power to vote against politicians taking money from the NRA.
She looks like she doesn't even know what she's talking about. By the time she's 18, the biggest thing she would be worried about is the color of her hair. She doesn't even know that the only reason that she isn't dead is because she's protected by the very thing that she hates.
Ooh, it's on!
You got me all wrong. Listen.
Gun, I am warning you, that is very triggering.
Ha ha, we get it.
Are you loaded?
Sure, I'm loaded. I'm loaded with thoughts and prayers.
We don't need thoughts and prayers. We need effective policy to stop gun violence. Yeah! How about you take your useless thoughts and prayers and shove them back up your barrel, you killer!
You gotta love the fact that all these kids have nothing but pure insults. Hey kids, what if a total psycho comes at you with a knife or even a gun? How else are you going to defend yourselves? You think that the police will just magically appear if you automatically endanger like some sort of magical genie? Or if you're a JoJo fan, a stand? These kids need to see that one episode where Lisa's sister convinces Springfield to farm everyone, only to find out that someone came back from the dead and used his gun to terrorize the place. There are bad people in this world, and the only way to protect ourselves from these bad people is we protect ourselves with guns. Yes, law enforcement exists, but there are not magical fairies that will appear at the first sign of trouble. No robber or rapist is gonna fuck with you if they know that there's a good chance that they might get fucking shot. Even if they carry a gun themselves, it's better if you still have a weapon of your own.
Yeah! And stay out of the hands of our teachers. I'm already afraid enough of my teacher on test days, and now I have to worry about them being armed.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to go on a long-ass rant because this statement right here is just one of the dumbest things I ever heard. First of all, if it turns out your teacher is loaded with a gun, she's not gonna point it at you. Your life is not in danger. Well, unless the teacher decides to snap one of these days and go on a rampage, so you better be nice. Next thing is that we don't need to arm teachers per se. We have law enforcement protecting our schools. School guards, as many would say. I worked in many schools, I should know. I'm a fucking custodian in New York. There's at least 1 or 2 guards in the school at a time. It depends on how big the school is and the type of school it is. High school usually has more security to pass by. There's even a metal detector in some instances. I'm fully aware that in other places school can be very different, but I assume that they still have at least some armed police guards. Now, where do you think a school shooter would strike? A school that has no weapons or no way to defend oneself, that may have a few guards, but that's about it? Or a school that has some form of protection, such as having armed guards, or even a few teachers that are certified to carry a weapon? School shooters are like lightning. They strike where there's least resistance. And that's what a school shooter aims to do, to take down as many people as possible. By the time the police arrives to the scene, the school shooter already accomplished what they're set out to do. They either surrender to the police, or they end up killing themselves by either taking their own lives, or in a more extreme case, decide to go out guns blazing and try to take down a few police officers only to get a bullet to the head. These mass shootings happen in gun-free zones. Almost 95% of mass shootings happen in gun-free zones. Something that you're trying to push everywhere. I'm going to link a few articles along the video made by Shane Killian about gun control. But in any case, you're too busy to look at any of these links. Allow me to make an abridged statement that pretty much covers everything. The mass majority of killings is by suicide. Roughly 66% of death by gun is suicide. And once again, mass shooting happens in places where there is a gun-free zone. And when there's a shooting in an area that there is some form of protection, the amount of death that happens there is reduced by a good amount. At most, these deaths barely pass double digits. This is something that every anti-gun celebrity and comedian has always ignored. They don't care on where the shooting takes place or how there is no one to stop these shootings, but rather, because someone has a gun, it's the gun that is at fault here. But facts don't fucking matter to these people. Just like the birds in the BS.
Grades up, guns down! Grades up, guns down!
These kids are too organized. They're too strong for me.
What the fuck is this My Little Pony bullshit?
Okay. I'm gonna leave your community, but you watch it. I'm not going away forever, and before you know it, I'll come back.
Not if we could help it. Yeah!
And what are you gonna do about it? Start chanting your lies? You'll be all screwed if some terrorist was to come by and be like, I'm gonna fuck you kids up. Before you know it, you are gonna start begging for someone to come in with a gun and save your asses.
Look, our collective demands for a safer community made the gun disappear. Yeah!
Our warning has made us defenseless. Hooray!
And look what's growing in its place.
A gun-free community is a peaceful community where kids can learn.
Yeah!
Such a peaceful community that's easy targets for people who plan to kill everyone. I mean, how else do you plan to defend yourselves if, say, someone does buy a gun illegally, or someone managed to sneak a gun under the radar? You might as well allow us to be attacked by terrorists. Maybe you are one, Christina. Don't bother telling her that, though, because her ratings and comments are disabled. Typical.